You're listening to the Premier Podcast Network.
This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
So funny.
I don't know. I was giggling and chuckling there, a little guffawing.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I was having a good time. I'm excited this morning to be alive after the past week I fucking had. It's been a nightmare.
It's been a week just in Philly.
Yeah, it's been a week for all of us, man.
Dude, shit. Like last Saturday, we went to McCuskers, woke up, and 95 collapsed. I was like, holy shit. Which
is just, if anybody's not aware of that, if it's just a regional thing, but I think it's like national now or international, because I heard about it in Houston this past week. An entire section of Interstate 95 on both the northbound and northbound actually fell down, I should say. Let me be clear on that. Northbound, an entire section of the new bridge work that they put in fell down, and the southbound lane was compromised to the point where they knocked it down due to a tractor, or it was a tanker explosion. Truck hit him. Go ahead.
A gas truck, tanker truck.
Hit the abutment and caught on fire and destroyed the bridge. I mean, it was, watching some of the videos on Twitter as it was happening, I mean, it was just black smoke billowing out of both sides, and apparently the tanker truck had just been filled. Unfortunately, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the driver did not make it, but he was the only fatality and injury in the entire thing. But I mean, like, that section, like, I don't know if people understand. I know Meanie does, because we both live in that area, right? And we take that road pretty frequently. Cottman Avenue right there. I mean, that is a major, like a jugular vein inside of Interstate 95. I mean, that's a huge travel component for so many people. And it is shut down for, I think it's, 30 miles in between, or 20 miles, something. It's a very large stretch of 95 that's closed right now. And has it let me ask the question here. Has it affected you in your travels recently, or have you been able to get a nice, workaround? Because I know you know the city pretty well, but
yeah, dude, I like when I was going for my, I had a hearing. I had to go get my ears cleaned the other day. I got a fucking ear infection. I had to take 95 to Cottman and get off of Cottman and go up that route, wherever, I forget, Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Oh, no, something like that. I either way, I had to take Cottman Avenue and drive that all, you could go to so many different places from that exit. And, I drove over that at least 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I was scheduled I had to make a run and do something in Northeast Philly. And I woke up to go do the thing I had to do. Only to learn that the road that I drive over wasn't there anymore. It was so good. And I sat there and just stared at my phone. I was like, that's here, right? It just didn't feel real. I was like, 95 in Philly?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And then you're like, how? And you try to piece things together, in in my hungover state. I was like, holy shit. So I had to just figure out how to navigate that. And I got around it, but I drive the shit. It took me 20 minutes. It took me like an hour. It's fucking brutal. There's an exit before Cottman, which is Aramingo Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got off of that. So I did Aramingo to Harbison to Route 1.
Yeah.
We had to go to Woodhaven to get back to 95, which was...
Oh my God, wait, let me try to process that for a minute. Because as a Bucks County boy, that just made my head spin thinking about the amount of traffic the amount of detours you just took there. So you got off at Aramingo, went to Harbison, then to
which kind of turns into Harbison,
right. Then the Route 1, then Woodhaven, and then back onto 95. That is that's a murderer's row, friends, of roads of nightmare roads in Philadelphia.
Thank God this was like a Sunday morning.
Oh my God.
In general, if you're going to have that accident, granted, you don't want to have that fucking accident.
Right.
If that was a weekday and that thing collapsed, and imagine how many fucking people, like if they didn't see the collapse, and it's kind of like the earthquake in San Francisco when that part of that bridge collapsed.
Yeah.
And people didn't see it until it was too late. So, I mean, it's a bad thing. And like the videos of people going over, there's one where the guy is driving over 95 where the fire is. You can kind of see it's already kind of dipped.
Yeah.
He's driving and his car goes whoop. And it was like, holy shit.
Another 10, 20 seconds, he could have easily fallen down there. I mean, that's just, I know we're kind of like, I don't mean to underplay it or anything, because it's a very serious situation, but like, it's such a uniquely Philadelphia thing, I think, sometimes, where it's just like, it just like, of course this happens here. Like this happened in 85, go Birds. But, it's just like watching the video, like, there's some, like, they had the surveillance video when the accident happened. It was like, no, miss me with that. But like watching the fire, like the smoke, the heavy smoke, and it's just, I don't think yeah, I mean, and it was like, you don't understand, like once that impact happens, and that fuel burns off. I was talking to my Uber driver last night, and I was telling him, like, in an incident like that, like when I was with the fire department, if there was something along those, luckily we never had to deal with anything like that. But basically the training was, if you're in a situation like that and it's contained, and I know it seems weird to say like that's contained, but it's not spreading anywhere, right? Like the truck is on fire. It's just in the bridge area, and now the tanker is just burning. The only thing you can do is let it burn until it goes out. Like there's nothing you can do to stop that. It's like a surround and drown with a house fire. We call them surround and drowns. It's basically when the house is fully compromised, there's no saving it. You're just mitigating the house falling down at that point, right? It's all optics. And man, that was just some wild shit to watch. But I've heard a lot of stories about people being impacted, and now, luckily the governor is calling on the federal government to bring in some additional assistance. They did say, Meanie, and I'm going to ask you about this. They did say that it was going to take 3.5 months to fix that, which I laughed at, because we all know that section of 95 has been in progress since I was in high school over 20 years ago. How long do you think, as a native Philadelphian, how long do you think? What's your projection on the 95 repair?
When it first happened, I was like, oh, that's got to be 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
But then on the news last night, they said what they're planning to do. You're just going to fill it all in and just make it like a mountain there, and then just kind of like pave over it until they try to rebuild a bridge. There's this stuff made of glass. It's like a glass. Not like a kind of like a aggregate. It's called. And they're going to just make a mountain of this fucking. They're going. If you're not familiar, Cotman, you get off the exit, you go around, you go underneath 95 like a tunnel. They're just going to fill that fucking tunnel in, that whole area, and pave over it just to get cars, like a 6-lane highway. And in the meantime, they're going to try to build a new bridge around that. So if it takes three months, that'll be a fucking miracle. But if they're just going to do the whole fill it in and just fucking pave over it, that might fucking speed shit up. But it's funny. It's like, if this was like China or Japan, it would be 2 weeks, right?
Easily done.
Yeah, I've watched the videos. Just like, holy shit.
Well, it's because they have money in their infrastructure. Not getting into politics, but I'm just saying, if we had more money in infrastructure, we probably would have avoided this whole thing. But anyway, I digress.
Right. Well, the big thing is they said they didn't put there's like a foam you could have had underneath there, like a flame retardant foam that would have helped fight off the effects of the flames, but they, oops, kind of forgot that.
Whoopsie. We missed that part, guys. I apologize, Blue. I know you're the site supervisor, but we fucking missed this part, and it's kind of a big deal now.
Yeah. Just forgot the fucking fire.
I forgot.
But anything you have to do in Philly is fucked. You just got to figure out a new way.
Yeah.
I put the route into my Waze app and it just laughs at me.
It's just like, yeah, okay. You joking me, dude?
All right, cuz.
Yeah. Yo, cuz. Schlichter, shout out to the Pod Squad, by the way. Pod Squad just sent me something from 6ABC. Let's boot this bad boy up and see. There's a new information on the rebuild. Let's see if this comes up. Let's see.
And hold on, I got a little breaking news. Machete Von Kill calls her shit poop.
He called the shit poop. And go ahead.
That's if you join us on patreon.com/meanie, we have little sidebars before the show and talk to everybody. And
yeah,
we had a lively discussion before.
I will.
I set up the record. I was like, oh man, let me go take a shit. And then I went to take a shit and I stood up to, come in here and then my body went, nah, sit back down.
You're not quite done yet, pal.
Nah.
It's been a rough couple of fucking days, man. So I went to Houston for work from a shoot job. And I flew in Monday morning. So I drove from my place to Philly. I was at my old community because I can still park there. And it's only a 10-15 minute drive from there to the airport. And my stomach was just like, I drank an energy drink and a protein shake, which is not out of the ordinary for me. Like if I'm running late in the morning, I gotta fucking keep myself full until I get to the office. And I'm telling you, man, my entire stomach felt like it was like literally, I know people say this, but it felt like someone was physically taking my stomach and twisting it. And it felt like my sides were just being stabbed. And the whole day I'm at the airport, I'm like dry heaving. And then I'm in the airplane and I'm flying to Houston and I'm sitting there and I'm going, and I felt like I was going to be sick. And I had to literally fucking zen myself into being like, you're not going to puke. We are not doing this on the airplane. Right. So I felt like, I finally got myself to that position, but then eventually, I threw up pretty much all night. And oh my God, I was crawling to my bed. And since Monday, so you're listening to this a week from Monday, a week from the incident, it's been literally nonstop. Like today, we're recording this Inside Baseball. We're recording this a little bit earlier in the week. And I'm still suffering from the effects of it. And the same thing, we were getting ready to record. I'm like, yo, Blue, I'll be right there. And I fucking, what do you call it? Squid inking? I was like Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber, hands up off the seat, letting it rip. And, I turned the faucet on because I didn't want anybody to hear me go. And it sounded like the same thing,
In the hotel?
No, it was here. I just didn't want to hear my wife. I didn't want my wife to hear me fucking shit my ass.
It's a hotel.
Dude, it's fucking, those things in movies where they go bong when it's like a transition. That's what my fart sounded like. It was like a loud bass fucking booming thing through the hotel room. But no, and then, so Monday I was just puking and I was up all night and sweating and I was shaking. And then Tuesday I had to go to meetings and classes all day. And it was a struggle. And between that and the interior abdominal pain and the heartburn, and of course,
it's the shits.
It's been horrific. So I don't know and I know a couple people that I've spoken to in my professional and personal life are also suffering from whatever this is. But it sounds like whatever this is a really fucking nasty bug. So just keep an eye on it because it's going to knock your ass out.
Well, they say 9 out of 10 people suffer from diarrhea, which means one person enjoys it.
Imagine enjoying diarrhea.
Yeah.
This is delightful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. I love the way it feels when my asshole's on fire. Here, this.
I like the sound. I like the sounds of corks popping.
Oh my God. Danny does a great, my son, whose voice graces us at the end of the episode. He watches, he'll find, this kid's fucking hilarious. He'll find fart sound videos on YouTube where people just like, you know, it's like loud fart, wet fart, whatever it is. And there's a diarrhea noise and he does it. If I ask him to do it, he does it. He's like, what are you doing, man? Like, how do you have that memorized? But I will tell you, dude.
Child.
What a guy. I love that kid. I will tell you, friends and family alike, and foes too. I mean, I don't want you to suffer from this. Well, maybe. But Liquid IV, which is what I'm drinking right now. This has been a literal game changer for me. It just as I start to feel down again, it comes back up. They have it in all types of flavors. Definitely. It's like $20 for a box of 10. I don't know. It's chef's kiss, Meanie. It's beautiful shit.
Yeah, Mrs. Meanie buys that stuff, and it's great. It's great for hangovers.
Yeah,
like the one I'm experiencing now.
Another night at McCuska's, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, let's go. We went Saturday. Ooh, where did that list come from? We went Saturday. It's like I had fucking a rooftop full of peanut butter. We went Saturday.
Saturday. Thick Saturday.
Eat your heart out, Michelle Pfeiffer. We went Saturday just to fucking shoot the shit.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we go on a Wednesday, just a random Wednesday. Well, let's go and close the bar out, and then come home and get drunk and jam to Kyrie Live by Mr. Mister.
I love it.
Or the guy from Mr. Mister with Ringo's All-Star Band, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's probably really sick.
Yeah. And Steve Lukather and Ringo Starr and a few other people that I recognize, but I just don't know their names. But, I don't know what tangent we were going off on there, but
we were talking about squid inking and poop and all kinds of other things. I did want to go back to Andrew Bailey. Shackelford said he had to get off at Cotman by that Sharky's bar yesterday, and traffic sucked.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine being right there, dude. That's pretty much like, that's almost ground zero right there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's coming down, going south isn't as bad because you could get off at Compton and they make you make the right there and the left, and you pass, the Four Seasons, landscaping place.
Total landscape.
Yeah, with the adult bookstore right there, but,
At the crematorium.
Yeah. Which is unusually high steps. I'm like, it's like, fuck it. While you're up there, tell Moses to get the fucking tablets down. Jesus Christ. The fucking Sherpa to go up to the fucking.
Oh my God, dude. I can literally see Moses just walking up these stairs to the crematorium.
Yeah. And the fucking steps that high. God damn. Try and keep that place a secret?
Yeah, right? Oh my God. The visual on that was breathtaking, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but like once you get off there, well, no pun intended.
Right.
but yeah, it's a straight shot right back on the 95, and you go on 95 and there's nobody behind you. You're like, feel like fucking Top Gun. You're like, Need for Speed.
Oh man, I've seen some videos of people fucking moving the police barricades and driving through it. And
oh really?
Yeah, they're like moving the barricades around, and they're just picking them up and throwing them, and then lines of traffic coming through. And you know, if you're listening to this and doing that, please don't do that. That entire section of road is compromised from a heavy a tanker truck fuel fire. Please, I can't stress this enough. Please don't do this. You're literally taking your life in your own hands.
Yeah, I ain't fucking hanging out.
No,
the whole point of going somewhere is to get where you got to go. Just fucking keep driving.
Right.
Dude, I've had this rant in my fucking head. Like the fucking people on the plane who are in no hurry to get out of their fucking seats. So you probably just took a flight. So it's like, fucking, if we're flying and I'm on the aisle and we're just pulling up to the gate and that his seatbelt sign is half coming off, my seatbelt is like half off. My seatbelt comes off, I stand up, open up the thing, and I grab my fucking bag. And if nobody's standing up, I make my way halfway down the fucking aisle to get off that fucking plane. I don't like these fucking lollygaggers, like, coming back from Ireland. I had a middle seat. And the guy next to me was just like, loop-de-doo. I was like, dude.
Can you sit up?
I was like, I'm sorry that you're not in a rush to see your loved ones. But I would like to get off this plane and go home in an expedited manner. Stand the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on my nuts. I'm literally sitting on my nuts right now. Just please get up.
For the love of God, please move.
Yeah. And I don't get it. And then you see people, I can't stand people who stand up right away when what are you waiting for? Fucking, what are you waiting for? Like an invitation? Get the fuck up. Stand up. Get the fuck off the plane.
Right.
And then then the people get up and they don't know how to get their shit out of the fucking top thing, and they're fucking like, da, 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 da. No, grab your bag and get the fuck off the plane.
Right. It's not that complicated. It's not.
No, but I've seen like fucking, in the past of people, what's with people who are in such a rush to get off the plane to get to where I got to fucking go?
Yeah. I just want to get off this fucking thing. I took United.
Soon as that seatbelt fucking thing comes off, I'm up. I've got the fucking bag. I'm walking through it towards the fucking door. And never mind the fucking poor fucking flight attendants that have to pick up after these fucking slobs after, to make the plane presentable for the next fucking flight.
Right.
You taking your time to get off the fucking plane is delaying their fucking job. And it's probably, you're possibly making the departure time for the next flight that's using that plane a little bit later. So, as a public service announcement, stand up, grab your bag, get the fuck off the plane.
Well, here's the thing. I don't disagree with that. I don't like the lollygaggers, but what drives me nuts is like, so yesterday I took United on the flight home, and we were already delayed by like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. There was like maintenance issues or whatever it was. And they upgraded my seat to Economy Plus, which was dope. Thank you, United, whoever made that decision. Mr. United, I guess. And so I had a middle seat. I was like, whatever, extended leg room, like there's extra space. I don't give a fuck, whatever, right? And the woman that was sitting on the aisle seat had already buckled herself in and was like texting on her phone, which is fine. Like, do whatever you want. But like, I'm like, excuse me, can I get in? And she just like this. And you can see me on patreon.com/MindOfTheMeanie if you sign up today and see what I'm doing. And, I said, excuse me, I need to sit down. And she like rolled her eyes and threw her seatbelt. And I just like, without even thinking, the Philly shit came out. I was like, oh, this must be your first time flying. Like, get the fuck out of the way, you idiot. Don't stare at me like a moron. And don't fucking roll your eyes at me. So I sit down and I strap in and I kill him with kindness. I'm such an obnoxious person. I was like, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience to you. And so I'm sitting there and she's fucking elbowing me like and it's only a 2.5 hour plane ride from Houston, maybe, 2.5 and change. And the whole time, every time she adjusts, she's fucking elbowing me. Like every, I don't know, minute and a half, 3 minutes, trying to watch my Chris Farley documentary, which I'll get to in a second. And, finally I turned and said, can you please just stop like touching me? Like this is really starting to bother me. And she didn't say anything. She just adjusted again and got off. Right. So here's the shit that bothers me to tie it back to what we're talking about.
Right.
There was an old couple in front of us. Like, everybody seemed to understand the plane logistics. Like, everybody got up and got their stuff and, you do the 3 rows and the 3 and everybody like files out that way. Right. It's plane etiquette. Yes. There was an old woman that was getting ready to get out of the seat that was in front of us, like an elderly woman. And this woman fucking just bumps in front of, like just bumps her out of the way to get off the plane. And I was like, and loudly I went, classless. Like it just came out of my mouth. I was so tired of this person's shit. I was like, what is your problem? Like, that's a choice to be like that. That's a choice to act and operate that way in life. And you're going to be this obnoxious and terrible of a human being on purpose. Like, just fucking find God or find whoever you need to not be a fucking asshole.
Ma'am, you're in coach.
right.
That is first class behavior. Know your position on the plane.
Play your part, pal.
Oh, man.
I was pissed, dude.
You know what you got to do before these fucking flights? You got to load up a cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking eat a chicken salad sandwich.
Listen.
Dude, I had a fucking chicken salad sandwich last night, and my ass started playing fucking Moby Dick by Led Zeppelin.
Meanie's ass is playing Moby Dick for real.
Yes, fucking get a lighter. Hey, encore. But I don't know what it is.
If I hadn't had the fucking stomach bug, brother, I'd have been fucking, because I was gassy, dude. I was holding it the whole time. I would have fucking let him rip if I could have trusted them. But I didn't have my gimmick underwear on, and I didn't want to be sitting in my own shit for 2 hours. So
your stunt underwear.
The stunt underwear.
Yeah. It's like when girls have period panties. You know,
guys have stunt underwear.
They get the high waisters. It's fucking for the bicycle seat.
Stunt underwear.
Oh, that's when you gotta fucking do the one cheek sneak.
Yeah.
Just gotta, lift up a little bit and act like you're reaching your pocket. And you pull your cheek and you just go. And the heat, you thought the heat for the fucking 95 fire was bad. That fucking heat would coming off that fucking little will singe eyebrows.
That was the other.
I don't care.
That was the other thing too. Is it was hot in the airplane. Like I think we were grounded. Sorry, I had to be careful there. I'm still afraid to burp. And we were on the ground. We were delayed for like an hour. And there was no AC in the plane. And I'm already like, after you're sick for a couple of days, you're like, oh my God, I feel horrible, And it was so fucking hot in the plane, dude. It was so hot. And I'm just sweating. I can feel it just beating down my face. And I'm trying to zen again, and it's not working. I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to sit here and be woozy for a while, and then maybe we'll pass out.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, you just sit back, close your eyes, and just will your way through it.
Yeah.
I know people who can just do that. It's fucking sit there, close their eyes, internalize it, and just, all right, now I'm good. It's like, oh, God bless.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't
know. Teach a seminar, do something.
I definitely could not. Like, I willed myself not to puke on the airplane, but I didn't think I was ready to. And so I waited for a while. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not gonna be sick on this airplane. I'm not going to do this. But it wasn't until I got to the hotel where I started really I don't know. I can't even explain. Like, it was like my entire body wanted to come out. It was horrible. The pain was just, it was, my boss saw me. I had to call my boss and I was like, listen, I can't make it to these meetings tonight because I'm vomiting. And I texted her. It was like the fourth time I had gotten sick in an hour. And I said, if this continues, I might need you to call an ambulance because I don't know what's going on. And I've been in pain for so long that I can't even move.
Right.
But no, there was no willing my way out of that one, brother. That was not a delight. I'm sure Carl is loving all of this vomit and shit talk this week. We're going to get that.
Did you have your wooden spoon?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't think to bring it, but next time I should pack one just to bite down. Join me for my morning shit. What is that guy's name that does that video?
I don't know.
I'm going to pull it up.
We should maybe can we play the audio of it and give him a plug?
Yeah, let me pull it up right now. Oh my God, it's hilarious. The Mike Ricky is his name, or Mike Ricci is his name.
Hi, I'm Mike. Come take a poop with me. I always start my day with my Breville Barista Express. Delicious. I let out my first fart of the morning, give it a sniff, And at that point I know it's time to go. I take off my Saks Platinum boxers, then let out 3 spritzes of Lady Primrose room spray. Then I light my favorite candle ever, the matcha tea and bergamot candle from Patty Wax. Finally, I bite my wooden spoon, and then it's go time. Hi, I'm Mike. Come take a poop.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's better through headphones.
Oh my God, it's so good. I laughed so hard. I think I was at lunch. We were in the lunchroom getting food when you sent me that. And I literally, I was cackling. I was laughing so hard. I got to stop pulling stuff up for Meanie when I'm at work.
Yeah, there's certain people when I see there's a video attached, it's like, nope.
No, I'm not doing it. In our football chat, I know it's like, I gotta save this until I'm in a safe space, man. Can't do it.
There are other people in this room who will not appreciate what this could possibly be.
Oh my God. Oh, it's so good, man. So good. That was so his handle is at the Mike Ricci, RICCI on Instagram.
I need to follow.
I gotta follow him now. Let me make sure.
It's a lot of work that went into that fucking taking that poop.
Oh God, I can't. But it's a process, right? Like it's the what do they call it? The influencers poop time. Yeah. So, yeah. I dig it. Like I get it. That's a great fucking.
We're poop heavy today. We got to
change. We got to move to another. Chris Farley. That's what we could talk about. Yeah. So, I was looking for content to watch on the airplane on United while I was getting elbowed in the ribs during my flight, and I found the Chris Farley documentary on A&E, which is called Anything for a Laugh. And I'm sure. I think we talked about this before. I'm a huge Chris Farley fan. Have been my whole life. Just one of the very few people that makes me belly laugh. Just fucking hits me right in the gut, and I'm laughing as hard as I think I ever have. And I watch pretty much everything that's ever come out about him. Every documentary. I've read the book. There's a book called The Chris Farley Show, which is written by Tanner Colby, same person who wrote Belushi's book. Fabulous read. And this documentary was just really more of a conversation kind of documentary. Like his brothers were involved in it, and Aykroyd was in it, and John Goodman, David Spade. It was really well done, but it was really sad. Like it was sadder than I think most of the other things I've watched about him. And it basically the whole time, Al Franken's in it, and they're all talking about how hilarious he was and how generous he was with his time. And they're talking, and they just start to collapse about this guy because they're like, he was just such a wonderful person. But I didn't know if you had seen it, and I was going to ask you on the program.
No, I would love to check it out. There was the other documentary that came out a couple years ago. I don't know if it's the same thing, but there's a Chris Farley documentary that came out. Also, shout out to the podcast called Fly on the Wall. There's Dana Carvey and David Spade. Yeah, it's basically a Saturday Night Live podcast. They talk with former Saturday Night Livers, but they did a 2-parter tribute to Chris Farley, and I think they're 2 hours each in length. And just to hear the stories of people who worked with Chris Farley was really touching, really cool, and the impact he had on the people around him. It's just he would go out of his way to be, to make whoever was around him laugh. I often think of the time he was on Letterman. Yeah. And they say, Chris Farley, and he comes out and he runs through the crowd and he's going insane and all this stuff and just being this wild man. They sits down, he's like, hi, or whatever. And he's just blown up and fucking it just got pop and stuff like that. He seemed like the kind of guy that would go out of his way just to make people laugh. And I can relate, that's my goal, is to try to make, people laugh. So, I'll definitely check that out. Maybe we'll put a link in, for the pod squatters out there. check it out. But yeah, I definitely want to check it out.
It was really, like I said, it was really good. It was really well done. There was always, I guess, like, you know, being the heavyset kid when I was younger, like there was always something that I felt like connected with him about because, you know, fatty fall down and everybody laughs and you're like, wow, I can relate to that. But I think I guess I'd never realized is like how much people really liked him just naturally and innately. Like they just were drawn to him. And watching him perform, like they had a bunch of videos from like his Second City stuff where he did this character called Whale Boy, which was just like, you know, he's half whale, half boy, and just hilarious shit, right? And that's where the Matt Foley character came from. But it's unique to see somebody that talented to be able to do things like that and perform at such an elite level. I had no idea that he took ballet though. That was one thing that I wasn't aware of.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He took ballet and he did a bunch of stuff in college that helped him be more agile and nimble and things like that, which I think if you're going to be in any kind of performance, I know there's been a bunch, like not Mike Tyson, but there was somebody else who takes a lot of football players. They take ballet in order to help them move.
Evander Holyfield did ballet.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's basically just for the mobility and the movement and to make sure that you're, you know, there's a lot of functional purposes for it. And, yeah, I was just surprised. But I mean, after watching him or after thinking about it, after I said that, I was like, oh no, yeah, that checks out. those leg kicks he's doing are not easy. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the documentary's called, Chris Farley, Anything for a Laugh. It was on A&E, and then the other one that they did in 2015 was called I Am Chris Farley, and that's available for rent on Prime Video.
Yeah.
So I got that one. I think is the only one I haven't seen yet, and I don't know why. I think I just never got around to it. But yeah, definitely. Like I said, definitely worth the view. You want to check it out there. What else is going on in the world and the mind of the Meanie?
Oh man, just working on some things that I can't talk about. So, excuse me. Got some fun stuff coming down the pipeline that I can't really talk about, but good things. I like to announce things. I like to do things. I like to interact. I'm looking forward to Icons coming up July 1st. Mm-hmm. I was just announced for that, which is a surprise to no one. I literally live in the 2300 arena. I'm a cheap date. I just show up and, hang out, and there's no flying or no hotels involved, and it's a luxury.
Yep.
I think in some ways, constantly working for promotions to run the 2300 arena has kind of spoiled me to not want to travel anymore. So it's like, brother, I get a lot of offers for bookings. I'm like we were just talking about flying. I don't really want to fly, which sounds hypocritical because I know I just went to Ireland, but if you're going to be stranded somewhere, I mean, being stranded in Ireland is not too bad.
I'd rather fly to Ireland for a fucking pleasure than fly anywhere. Fly to Detroit for work.
Yeah, just for whatever reason, whenever we go, like Ireland or England, there seems to never be a problem with our flights. It's the whole flying around the United States kind of sucks. I just look at my social media feed, and people stuck at the airport and their flight's canceled, and they might have to stay over a night, and they say, fucking get a rental car and drive home. Which there's a couple years ago, I did a booking in was it West Virginia? It was right near where the Mothman thing was. But I had to fly from Philly to Chicago to Cincy.
Oh.
From Cincy, drove an hour and a half back towards the direction of Philly to go to the show where they gave me a hotel room for an hour or two, which was weird.
Yeah.
Because then somebody just came up, picked me up, and took me to the building. Did the match. Me and Nova tagged against a couple fellas who called themselves the Gym Nasty Boys, which was pretty fun. After the show, they're driving me from where I can't think of the name of the town. From there back to Cincy in a rainstorm, where I kept getting email alerts that my flight was canceled.
Oh God!
I call the promoter. Hey, my flight is canceled. Can you fix it? Yeah, we're working on it now. Okay, got you a new flight. 20 minutes later, that flight's canceled. Like, what the fuck is going on here? They get me to the hotel. I check in. Okay, supposedly my flight's okay now. Fly from Cincy to Chicago, which is the opposite direction of Philadelphia. And then get to Chicago to find out that flight has been canceled and I have to sit in the airport for 9 hours.
Oh my God.
So I was like, you know what? It was at that point I had like an epiphany. I was like, the time it's taken me, the time it took me to wake up, go to the airport, fly to Chicago, wait in Chicago to, first of all, we landed in Cincinnati to drive an hour in the direction of Philadelphia.
Like why?
I mean, it was still like, this town was like 8 hours from Philly, but I had the epiphany. I was like, I sat in the airport for like 10 hours. I could have drove home.
Right.
So like at that point where it's like, if I could kind of drive it, you know, I'll fucking drive it. Like,
yeah.
Instead of buying an airplane ticket, just cover my rental. It's like, I don't want to go to an airport. I'm done. I'm done with, the whole being a hostage. Like, am I getting home? Like that booking, I was supposed to be, was it that booking? There's one booking. I was supposed to be home at like noon. I didn't get home till 1 a.m. I was like, what the fuck? Is it worth it? Cause you figure there's a day of travel before the show. You fly in so you get in and make the show. In this instance, I flew in the day of the show and then travel home the next day. That's 2 to 3 whole days just to do one thing. It's like, now if, you're flying me in and you have 2 days of shows, that kind of makes worth, filling out those dates to travel. So It's like, I've been doing getting a lot of bookings, just trying to, if it's within the Indianapolis thing, the fucking Square Circle Expo I did in April.
Yeah.
Like a 14-hour drive, but it was so fucking worth it because it was like, drive out and do the convention and drive home and, I get to bring Mrs. Meanie with me. I get to see my friends and stuff. And I'm traveling at my pace.
Right. You're not rush through the airport and security and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anybody elbowing me. I don't have, I don't get plane Tourette's.
I'm such a prick, man. I'm sorry it happens.
No. What are you talking about? But, it's just like, I know we got off topic here, but
that's fine. No, that's what we do here, man. We're good.
That's the thing. It's like, I love pro wrestling. It's just the travel industry has made me reconsider a lot of just like things where like, is it worth it? Especially if you do a match and you're beat up, you're sore, and then you just got to sit in the airport for 9 fucking hours. You're like, ugh.
Yeah. And let me quantify that too, because I'm really not like, I'm not argumentative with people. Like I'm very, I know I come off as a very bombastic, like loud person, but I'm really like, I don't want any drama. Like I don't want any fighting. Like, let's just figure this out. We'll talk it out kind of thing. But if you push me to my limit, like everybody else, like I'm going to pop. Right. And this woman just fucking, I guess, rubbed me the wrong way or, elbowed me the wrong way, I guess you could say in this scenario with Blue. But it's just, I think what really pops me is just like the rudeness and the callousness of other people, like just the complete inability to read the room or, not understand like what their actions are like how they're portrayed. I don't know. It's just like stupid shit just pops me sometimes. And that was something stupid, but Meanie.
Yes, sir.
Baseball is back. And I know everyone wants to hit a home run, but you can't do that when your untrimmed bush is starting to look like Wrigley Field. Get your game on point with Manscaped, and you can start scoring on and off the field with their top-notch grooming products trusted by 8 million men worldwide. Grab some Cracker Jacks, a hot dog, and a Lawnmower 4.0, and let's play ball. Don't forget to use the promo code MindMeanie for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. And Meanie, I want to ask you, since we love baseball here at the program and we also love our sponsors, Manscaped, how have they helped you keep your baseballs clean?
Hey, I just turned 50. This is my 50th summer around the sun, and I'm all about the Weed Whacker 2.0. Let me tell you, man. I'm getting a little bit older there, so the nose hairs and the ear hairs are becoming a little bit more prominent. I need to trim those bad boys, because when I sneeze, those nose hairs sound like the crack of a bat off of shore bomb. So the Weed Whacker 2.0 has been keeping me looking good on the mound.
I love that analogy there, sir. Manscaped has the full package for your package this season. The Performance Package 4.0 checks off every box and is the 5-star tool that you've been searching for your balls club. To start it off, the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is getting hyped as the Bryce Harper of trimmers, and after using it, my confidence level is sky high. In and out quickly to get the job done in just a few minutes, meaning something that Rob Manfred can't say about anything. Also included is the Weed Whacker. The nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in all of those delicate holes. Going up to the plate against Zach Wheeler is tough enough. De-hair your nostrils this season with the Weed Whacker 2.0 so you can take your best shot at it. Rumor and innuendo, Meanie, I don't know if you heard this, but one of the league's biggest issues during the lockout was legalizing the use of ball deodorant and ball toner for players. Did you hear that?
In the offseason, it was a hot stove topic.
I've heard that, but luckily you don't have to worry about getting kicked out of the league for having clean and good-smelling balls with Manscaped. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, which we both know when we're sitting up there in the stands at Citizens Bank eating our hot dogs and our Federal Donuts. Chafing is real life, sir. And the Crop Reviver spray-on toner for your balls, because you never know when you're going to need a little pep in your step to be at the top of your game. Clean up the below the waist this year in 2023 with the best lineup from Manscaped. Trim your bat and balls and get into the MVP discussion this season. Most valuable player, of course, with the promo code MindMeanie for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MindMeanie at manscaped.com. And we want to thank, as always, Manscaped for sponsoring the program.
Thank you.
Well, Meanie, I've never been to Indianapolis, but I can say that this weekend my underpants looked like the Indianapolis Speedway. So, not so great. But no, I totally get that, and I understand that, like, especially too. I mean, you've been doing it for so long too. Like, I know that, like, I can't imagine how frustrating that must be to go to a gig and have to, like, compact your entire life in, like, what feels like 10 minutes, right? And, like, I can't imagine that is any fun long term. Like, I know the WWE guys travel, what is it, like 300 I should say they're on the road like 300 some odd days. Like, that's a lot of time to be spending and packing and moving. Like, that's intense. So I sure don't blame you.
And God bless the guys who can afford to get the tour bus thing. I don't know. I see, like, so many guys on the roster who had, like, tour buses. I'm like, what all goes into that? Like,
well, right.
Like, is there, like, tour buses are us? And what does that, does it pick you up at your home and you drive to the booking, or does it pick you up at the airport and stuff? It's like, I'm totally fascinated by that. Like, if I ever get a chance to, go backstage and talk to some of the guys who actually do the tour bus thing, I'm like, how does that work?
I know Jess Margera used to tell me a couple of times because they would go around the Continental and they would be on a tour bus sometimes. And I literally can't imagine what that, like, sharing a bus with 3 other people and the driver and any techs you might have, Like, I can't imagine that it's pleasant. I can't imagine that it's any fun in any way, shape, or form. Like, and then, like, how do you shower, right? Like, how do you take care of yourself? Which I don't know how that's possible. You know who'd be a good person to ask? Carl, because he used to do that too when he would play. Yeah. He might be a good person to ask that. So,
yeah, it's definitely fascinating, but like, if you're doing like a 3-day loop, does the tour bus, the cost of renting a tour bus for 3 days, or do you just flat out buy it and just pay the driver? It's something fascinating that I've always wondered about.
I think at a certain point, it's almost like, because I know that I think they had their own that they bought for a while, or they used one that they were utilizing. But I think after a certain point, like, I guess with the expenses, I would imagine it's probably just cheaper to buy it. Like, I can tell you just from experience, like, I spent like $250 on Ubers this past week. You know, from the airport to the hotel was like 40 minutes or so, and then traffic on top of that. So your costs are going way up, and it's like, well, fuck, I could have just rented a car for the entire couple of days I was here, and it would have probably been half the cost of that. So,
rent a car, and then you're free to go eat wherever you want. Just there's like a local steak place or Steak and Shake or whatever kind of cool local fucking eatery.
Well, so that's the thing. I was going to go to Buc-ee's because actually, to keep mentioning, but Carl was mentioning this place called Buc-ee's that's down there, and apparently it's like a Wawa on steroids. I don't know if you've ever been there before.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
And it was like 40 minutes away. I'm like, I am not doing that. And so there was an In-N-Out that was like 10 minutes away. I was like, all right, I'm just going to go there. So I had some of the local cuisine, but definitely worth it. But, no, I think I said to Courtney today, like we were, like doing that fun thing where you go over your financials. And I'm like, I'm never fucking doing this again. Like, if I'm traveling for work, I'm just gonna rent a car. But speaking of renting a car, Meanie, I have a question for you. I don't know how that correlates, but I'm tying it in. I have a question for you. Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
Yeah, cause
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag. That was literally me in my hotel room. Don't forget us to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the program next week, rather. We'll start with Mark in Dryden. He wants to know, hey, Meanie, do you think AEW shot themselves in the foot by booking Forbidden Door, Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage in Toronto and Hamilton? That's a lot to expect fans to watch and buy tickets for.
So give me, what's the optics on this? I mean,
I gotta get the actual, and maybe somebody in the pod squad can help me because it's a lot of Googling all at once, but it looks like Forbidden Door is June 25th. Right. All right. And then we have, let me see. So we have Dynamite. Let's see. And then I guess it's in Toronto, right? Dynamite. No, not actual Dynamite, guys. Come on. Looks like that's, so it's June 24th is Collision in Toronto. So then the Forbidden Door is the next day.
I thought Collision was, this is like Collision. Because the debut for Collision is going to be in Chicago, right?
Right. That happened on Saturday, as is theirs on Monday. So this is the show they're doing. So it's Collision, Forbidden Door, and then I think Dynamite is right after that.
Yeah.
And then I guess Rampage, I don't know. I guess maybe they're filming in the same scope, either in Dynamite or Collision. And then in Hamilton, which I guess is in Canada as well. What do you think?
And how much? Well, I guess so. It would be the Sunday pay-per-view. Or are they doing Saturday?
So it's a Saturday pay-per-view. So Friday is it's a Sunday pay-per-view. Saturday is Collision, and then Sunday night is Forbidden Door. And then
that's right.
And then Wednesday is Dynamite Rampage together, and that's in Hamilton, Ontario. I'm just pulling up the ticket costs right now just to get an idea. In Hamilton, let me see what so we're looking
they're not doing it all in Toronto.
No, just the first two shows are in Toronto. So it looks like some of the tickets are, front row seats obviously are going to be like $300, but you're looking at like $50 a pop. So you figure it's probably the same for Collision. So you're looking at like $100 for that ticket. Then at Forbidden Door, I can't imagine that there's even tickets left to that. But yeah, I'm sure they probably, let me see, tickets.
So I guess, I mean, like, if it's a market you really haven't gone to that much,
Mm-hmm.
Two shows, they're doing the 2 shows in Toronto. They should be all right with that, I believe. Like, I wonder if they have like ticket packages. Like, if you give, one show is this price, both shows this price, kind of thing. And then Hamilton, which is, I think, further west, towards like, Toronto's over like near Buffalo. Hamilton's kind of more towards Detroit, I want to say, just going off the top of my head.
I think you're right. I think it's like down, like if you come this way towards Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a couple hours in between, like a couple hour drive in between shows. So it's technically, you're not using you're not wearing out the same crowd unless, people want to drive from Toronto to go to Hamilton, that's on them. But I think Hamilton's far enough away that, you're reaching different people. So you might not be burning out the same people. So, and I'm assuming like they'll do what they've done on their West Coast treks where they just put them up in a hotel and stay in the area for a few days instead of having people fly back and forth and back and then having to go to customs over and over and over again. So, I don't know if they're shooting themselves in the foot. It's especially since like it's a market they've barely gone to. Like this, I believe this is their second time going to Canada, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it's still fresh territory, that hasn't been really overexposed as far as, going to a place over and over. Like it seems like they go to Chicago every other month,
Yeah. Yeah. They're always there. Yeah.
They're always in Chicago for some reason. I think if they run one more show in Chicago, Dick Wolf has to produce it.
I need the Law and Order theme. No, I get it. I think, and just looking at the ticket cost, you're looking at probably even in the resale market, if you're looking at the nosebleeds for Forbidden Door, I'm looking at section 320 through 322 in Scotiabank Arena. You're going to like $51. So, I mean,
but if you're coming from the States to go to the show, I think it's cheaper because because the dollar's worth more. So, or something, or the Canadian dollar's worth a little bit less. So if you're buying a ticket for like $50, it's worked out to be like $45 or something American or something like that.
So you figure if you're going by yourself, right, you're looking at just ticket costs with everything in, Ticketmaster shit. You're probably looking at like $225 for all 3 shows. If you're making that trek, that's really not terrible.
It's not
if you have the money and if it's your thing, right? Like if you're going to spend the money to do that, like, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's going to be burnt out. I think it should. And again, like most, WWE does the same thing when it comes to, pay-per-views, right? Like they were in Puerto Rico the night before Backlash, right? Or they're in Philadelphia the night before, whatever it is, So I don't necessarily think that there's too much of an issue there. But I think in this particular market, I think it'll be okay. But
yeah.
And our last question today, Matt in Dover wants to know, Meanie, what is your favorite championship belt?
I love belts. I'm a belt mark, safe to say. I look at some wrestling belts the way some people look at oil paintings. But my favorite belt of all time would have to be the Bill Watts UWF TV title. None of that Herb Abrams shit. But yeah, man. I saw that belt, and up until I saw the UWF TV belt, my favorite was probably the Intercontinental belt. Randy Savage one, Ricky Steamboat.
Classic.
And after that was like the old tag belts that the Bulldogs wore, and the big fucking centerpiece. But goddamn, excuse me.
You're good,
it would have to be the Bill Watts UWF TV title.
I have one more question for you from Pod Squad member Andy Schlichter. Schlichter would like to know, what one match were you in that you wish you had video of that you don't?
Oh, the fucking 8-man tag I did with Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, man.
It was me, Dusty Rhodes, D'Lo Brown, and Dr. Tom Pritchard versus the Masked Superstar, Doink the Clown, Steve Corino, and Test.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, at the one of those Wrestle reunion shows. And it was taped professionally. It was supposed to be, released and stuff like that, but something legally happened and the footage got seized. I don't know what the hell happened, but there's footage. It just hasn't been. So that kind of goes against this question: which match do I wish was taped? That it was taped. There's no way for me to get it.
Oh, man.
And me in the 8-man tag with Dusty Rhodes, where they let me get the fucking pin. I got to get a shot of like me going up for the moonsault and Dusty's watching.
Oh my God.
And then when we, do the moonsault 1, 2, 3, me, D'Lo, Dr. Tom, and Dusty, I got them all to do the meanie dance.
Oh, man.
So
and it's on video somewhere.
Oh, professionally, multi-camera, like high production type shit. This is like 2005.
I'm looking at the photo right now.
Yeah.
There's a photo of you and Dusty in the ring holding your arms up. And oh my God, what a fucking moment, dude.
Yeah, that's one to hold on and watch. And it was a good match. It's like me and Steve Corino were like, is this really happening?
Oh my God. What a fucking.
We did like one of those Survivor Series type promos where it's like me, Dusty, and Dr. Tom and D'Lo are standing there, and I'm standing behind Dusty while he's cutting the promo. And
wow.
It wasn't a Survivor Series style match, but the promo leading up to the match, I thought I was pretending it's like I was in the Survivor Series with Dusty Rhodes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that whole show was fucking stacked.
Wow.
DDP wrestled like Larry Zbyszko or all this shit. There's like it was a loaded fucking show, and they had like a convention. But I wish it was taped, but there's no way for me to get that fucking footage.
What a shame. That sucks.
Yeah, the tag with one of my idols,
And it's like okay, at least you have you have a photograph in the ring after it, which is dope. Right. Yeah. Which now, do you have like the crystal clear version of it?
What, the photo?
The photo of you guys in the ring? Like, is it not pixelated and shit?
The photos I got were from like fan photos, like fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed for you.
Kind enough to send me the photos, but just to see, be able to, say, have a match of me tagging with us, it would be awesome.
I hope that footage will be released from whatever archive it is in. I hope that is the case, because I would love to see that. Like that is a crazy card. So
I mean, like, for the longest time, I was trying to find the footage of me wrestling at the Garden.
Yeah.
And then, I have a buddy who just happens to be able to have this ability to get shows, and he got me the Garden show that I did.
Wow.
It's filmed from the nosebleeds, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, I recently just found the footage of the second time I worked the Garden where Goldust wrestled the Godfather. But I just got the entrance of me and Gold and some highlights from the match, and like the whole show's condensed in like half hour, 45 minutes, which it's all right, but at least I have like a footage I can make a still from saying, hey, here's me at the Garden. So
right. And I wonder if that's something that, like, do they retain that footage? Does Vince or whoever recorded that for WWF, do they retain that original recording? And you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yeah, well, this is like a straight up bootleg.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It kind of like, when the curtain call thing would happen, that was the only reason why anybody knows of that footage is because some kid snuck his camcorder into the garden to record it,
Man.
Yeah, so I don't know who recorded it, but I got both of my appearances at the garden. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. And it's cool to do this show with you and get to ask you questions like this every single week. I appreciate your time, sir. While we're on the subject, though, I want to know where everybody can keep in contact with you and keep up with you on social media.
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, at Blue Meanie BWO, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. Get yourself a BWO tank top like the one I am wearing today. If you're watching at Patreon.com/Blue Meanie. You can also go to support the Mind of the Meanie. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Go over there and get some fine looking swag and help pay the bills here at Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon codes Meanie or use coupon code MIND. Save 10% over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. Shout out to Rod Hicks. He's doing a fantastic job there. Now you got a good looking shirt, and if you're a bearded fellow like myself, got to go to madcatbeardcare.com. Got to go to get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Josh Thornton's doing an amazing job over there. All the proceeds go to taking care of feral cats in his neighborhood. He rounds them up, takes them to the vet, gets them healthy, and sends them on their way. But, go to madcatbeardcare.com today. The Figure Collection's Bone Crushing Wrestlers Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie, a.k.a. me, are available now. All Series 1 can be ordered now at shop.figurecollections.com. Get the Figure Collection's Bone Crushing variants of the Blue Meanie in old school shirt or the BWO shirt at shop.figurecollections.com. To have the Blue Meanie appear on your podcast, go to podstars.net, register your podcast there, and book an appointment with the Blue Guy at Podstars, PODSTARZ.net. Shout out to Jim Nelson at glaciersofice.com. Jim made a 3 of 3 only handmade custom BWO Air Jordan 1 sneaker for Stevie Nova and myself. Each pair takes Jim about 50 hours per pair, which is a feat in itself. He's done some great shoes, man. He has a video of him taking apart one of Rey Mysterio's masks and turning it into a pair of sneakers for Rey Mysterio. So if you want to see all this good stuff, go to follow him on all forms of social media at GOI Kicks. On all forms of social media, that's GOI Kicks. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. We did a couple videos this past week. Had a lot of fun. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter over at cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. First day with the new mouth. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think I'm still there, and also Mastodon. I got to brush the dust off of that one. But you can find me at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can find me there and follow me for all the good hijinks and fun stuff. You can also listen to my other program on Foundation Radio. Now that we are both a part of the Premier Podcast Network, you can find us in the same place. So you can just go and subscribe to everything right there. Shout out to the team there. Lots of great shows to check out on this network as well. We're joined by friend of the show, Rob Van Dam, and also Ted DiBiase. Lots of great stuff. So check us out at the Premier Podcast Network. But you can also check out Foundation Radio at foundationradio.net. You can go to Brothers Gaddor. You can pick up the Adam Barnard official Wrestle Buddy. That's right. The first official licensed Wrestle Buddy of myself, yours truly. Now, there's only 25 in existence, and we're almost completely sold out. So if you go to the Brothers Gaddor right now, you can pick up your single, or you can also get a Meanie single. And even better, you can go and get a 2-pack. That's right, 2-pack, Meanie 2-pack of both of me and Meanie for your collection. So go to brothersgaddor.com right now and pick it up. Go to the Feinberg method and use promo code Goober and save up to 20% off of your entire purchase. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is looking to get new clients and looking to help you specifically with not just your physical, but your mental well-being. So go to thefeinbergmethod.com, prowrestlingtees.com/foundation radio, prowrestlingtees.com/mind of the meanie. Pick up a shirt and help keep the lights on at Casa DeMeanie and Barnard Home for wayward and troubled youth. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/mind of the meanie and sign up for the Pod Squad, because we love our Pod Squad here. Y'all are the best. And also we want to thank Manscaped for sponsoring the program this week. Meanie, I want to thank you for doing the show and putting up with my disheveled and slightly pale face today. I appreciate you. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip to the mind of the meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is produced by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Mind of the Meanie and become our patron on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's